Hi, I'm Matt from HockeyReviews.ca, and this video is all about toe ties. So there's a ton of questions online about how toe ties work, what they do, and everything like that. So we're gonna have two videos. This video specifically is just going to be about what toe ties do. So we're gonna give an example of what happens to a pad when you have a toe tie versus what doesn't have a toe tie, and how the toe ties and kind of different options of them interact with the ice and with the post. So we're gonna look at that here. On another video, we're gonna have a whole guide on how to do up toe ties correctly, so how to put them through your skates, and what you're going to be looking for and how to make them snug and what changes you can make on them to really affect your game and to kind of work with what you have instead of having to buy new ones. So this video is all about what toe ties do and what the benefits they give you. Also, before we jump into this, I want to just put this out there. If you have questions or issues with your toe ties and strapping on pads and stuff like that, please feel free to reach out to me, whether it be on Instagram so you can share images, or in the comments below. Let me know what issues you're having or how your things are working, and we can try to work through them so you don't have to buy stuff, because yes, this is a hockey channel and I always buy gear, talk about buying gear, but there are solutions. I'm very happy to work with you to try to figure out and diagnose issues and see if you can fix the problem you're having with just stuff you have lying around. And to get this out of the way right away, toe ties are very, very personal preference. You have to figure out what works for you, for your skate, for your style, and what is comfortable for you. So what is comfortable for me might not be for someone else, but generally you're looking for very specific things with the toe ties in terms of what they do and how they feel, and especially like how they don't hurt your leg and ankle. So there's a few things to do on there. I've had people ask me over and over again of what socks I always recommend, and I've been using Cutshield for a while now. I have multiple stuff from them. So Cutshield is a company out of Canada that makes cut resistant socks, and these are their Pro Air 6, which means it's an anti-level 6 for cut resistance on here. Full review of it up there so you can check it out. But I now have a coupon code with Cutshield, so if you want to support the channel, you can check out the link in the description to Cutshield, buy some socks, which I think are honestly one of the better socks on the market. I absolutely love them. They're pretty thin and they are cut resistant, and they're not too hot either. Use my coupon code, you get 25% off, and it helps support the channel. So an example of one of the purposes of toe ties is to pull the pad back when you go down for rotation, so your pad ends up sitting properly on your skates. For example, you can see me, I set these both here and they're totally fine. We drop into the butterfly, they're still totally fine, and we get up and you can see that pad is no longer totally fine. So without that toe tie to snap the pad back and pull it back in place, you get results like this where it kind of sticks out to the outside and doesn't rotate properly. This can also happen when you have too loose of a toe tie. So if you have a ton of slack in there, it can happen with this as well, because it won't rotate back and kind of go back into the right position. And this is also affected by strapping and things too. So if you have issues with it, you can either adjust the toe ties or the strapping, but that's a big proponent of toe ties. Now this slack obviously gives you more slack on the toe, so it doesn't pull your toe up as much, and you can still have a snug toe tie the rest of the way. And this piece right here, that slack, kind of also replicates what it was on a skate lace, where you'd have that gap, allows a pad slide up your leg a bit more so you can get more 5-hole coverage, and it also just allows for the boot to come up higher so you have less interference if that's something you're looking for too. That obviously helps with that as well. Now the other benefit to this, when there is a gap like this, it's easier to slide your pad kind of into the post and to get gap on between your pad and the skate kind of like this, so it's just easier to get into the post itself. Now without that kind of slack area there, your toe tie, the elastic part is going all the way. It still works and you can still slide in, but because it's attached to your skate, it kind of just pulls it closer into the pad itself. But with this, it's super easy, and it's kind of harder for me not to do it on ice sliding into it, but it's super easy to kind of get that where you want it to and slide into it with that gap, and the skate lace just kind of fits around it, and it works really well, and it's really easy for transitioning into RVH and getting that post seal. So this is also an example of that slack on here. Obviously Pro Laces have it built in for this one, which is the hybrid, but this is what you want to see. You can see how my toe is touching the ice and not having any problem. So the toe right here, the boot is actually touching the ice, not obviously the steel. And if this doesn't exist, or the whole toe tie is too tight, so if we remove that slack and pulled it up, it starts forcing your toe upwards off the ice, and it becomes uncomfortable and strenuous on your ankles and kind of everything. So you don't want that kind of force coming up here. So if you have like the skate lace, and if this was just skate lace without the elastic pull, all the way up there, it's going to pull your toe basically all the way up, and it's going to be kind of like this, and it's very uncomfortable and it's not very good for your ankle. So that is why you also want slack in there, and why the elastic is good, because it does stretch with you, but having that extra bit of slack gives you a little bit extra, one, post integration, but also just a little bit extra give in there, so it doesn't really bother your ankles at all. There's another part of toe ties, and this is the position of them. And this is like the bridge specifically, but toe ties as well. That actually causes pads to do different things as well. So here, as you can see, they're at the extreme sides of each other. And you can see the pads themselves are on different angles on my legs. This one is causing more of an overlap. You can see how it's kind of tilted over here more, where this one is more straight up. So if you adjust your toe ties in different positions, that one is the furthest over there. So it's keeping the toe kind of over there, and it's kind of pushing the pad in a bit. You can get more overlap depending on how you want to play. If you want a lot of overlap, if you don't, you would adjust it more on the inside, so it plays more straight up just like that. I'm wearing the same knee pads, the same strapping, everything, and just the toe tie itself and the position does cause that pad to kind of move on a little bit of a different angle, and this could cause too much overlap for some people. This might be uncomfortable, or this might be what you're looking for. And when you get in a crouch stance like this, you can see that overlap is more aggressive because of that toe tie position. It helps kind of push the pad down a bit up here. So it depends what you want. You can see a lot of NHL goalies kind of doing stuff like this, so that thigh rise gets on the ice and covers more, and they have that overlap in the thighs in their stance. That's just how they play. I think Bobrovsky is a good example of this. So this is where I talk about you have to kind of dial in what you want and what you like, and you can figure out what works for you. I don't prefer this on mine. I go with a more neutral one. I just keep it right in the middle. So this one is on the inside extreme, which I don't mind, but I'll put it back in the middle just because I like it kind of more neutral just there. But this one obviously is pretty extreme for that overlap. So hopefully this video has given you some information on what exactly toe ties do and what you're trying to make them do with a pad, and how different options can give you kind of different features on a pad. I know a lot of people don't really know about the toe bridge and locations on them. It was a question that's asked quite a lot. I've never even had to modify these myself. I always just leave them in the stock position and they work fine for me. But if you want that tilt and stuff, for example, you can change it there. So hopefully this was helpful. There is going to be that video where I go over different types of toe ties, like skate lace, how to adjust them, how you want them in terms of how it sits on your foot, and how much kind of slack and stuff you need for it. So make sure you check out that video. That will be coming very soon after this one. It'll be linked in the description as well as the end of the video. Make sure you check that one out. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully this was helpful. Remember to subscribe to me on YouTube, hit that like button. Unfortunately, I hate saying that, but it's a thing. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Links are in the description. If you want to support the channel so I can make more content like this and doing more hockey reviews, and you're buying hockey equipment anyways, check out the links in the description to Hockey Supremacy if you're in Canada, and Pure Hockey if you're in the US. Clicking those links, making a purchase, gives me a kickback. Otherwise, if you just want to support the channel, check out the links in the description to buy me a coffee. Everything through any of those links always comes back straight into the channel, so I can keep making more content and do more videos. Thank you very much for watching, and take it easy.
You're watching HockeyReviews.ca.